A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim.
Playboy life sucks. Playboy life sucks. The life I am referring to by saying Playboy life, I am talking about the life of like an Andrew Tate or a Hugh Hefner or the Dan Bilzerian. Dan Bilzerian has come on the right track over time. Andrew Tate seems to have more than halfway or come more on the right track. When they were at their peak, they were doing lifestyle that suck. When you have all these women around you that you don't know, people that you don't really care about you, and having all of these interactions that are just haram, your life is going to be destroyed. You see how all those cases were brought up against them, how all those women came out and were going against everything that they said that they were going to do with them, and how they were saying how they hated them or how they had done this or that with them. In this day and age, you can't be around that many women and not have these type of problems, especially for them to come back years later or a decade later, 5 years later, and you not even know about the whole situation. It just comes and bites you in your butt. So what is the better option for the man who has the desire to have multiple women but doesn't want to be around all these women who don't really care about them and who are trying to set them up? Get married to multiple wives. Why? Because it'll keep you away from this type of, I need to be hedonistic, I need to not get married and not be able to not take care of these women, even though this is what they want. If you don't give it to them in the correct way, then they're more than likely going to attract the type of women that are going to try and take everything from you, financially, your freedom, your children. If you go into these situations with the wrong intention of trying to potentially extract intimacy from these women without giving them the proper responsibility of taking care of them, then they'll feel a sort of disdain towards you, especially if you're famous, especially if you have anything in your life going on for yourself. They will feel as though you have tricked them. They will feel as though that you have played them. Because why? You've played them out of what they are actually worth. The thing about it is, once you see that these men who are at the top echelon, these basketball players, these sportscasters, these gosh darn politicians, these people at the top echelon of society who are taking care of most of the problems and taking care of all the money pretty much. If you go to this woman and she's saying, we did this, and this, all he gave me was a purse. All he gave me was a little watch or a bracelet. This is all I got. He has all this money. He's taking care of this other woman and this other woman. You don't think she's going to come back later on and feel as though she's been used? Why not? Especially if this happens to her multiple times. If she's a promiscuous woman, she's then going to go back to multiple people that she had been with and file some type of claim against them, talking about how she's been used, because she kind of has. Even though that she puts herself in this type of situation, it only takes a few times for her to become jaded and then not to be able to feel the type of connection that is needed to have a strong marriage or a strong relationship with someone. The best way to avoid these type of situations is get married. In the West, they're talking about monogamy. It's not going to be realistic for these type of people who are making this type of money, who have these type of connections and this type of influence. Monogamy is just not going to be a possibility. It's not going to work. These people are going to be around too many people for them to just be with one woman. And to have multiple days, weeks, months away from their wives is not going to be possible, especially if they're making money and being around all these people. It's not going to be possible for these men. What's the solution for this? Get married to another wife. Get married. When it comes around, you have 4 chances to get married, especially when you're at the top. You could take care of 4 families. If you're making $100 million a year, $200 million, you can take care of multiple families. It's blatantly obvious. So if you're not doing that, then you see all these people on TV talking about, oh, he's made this amount of money and all this. He has this one wife. What do you think he's doing when he's traveling? What do you think is happening to the women that he's interacting with once he leaves their state, or once he leaves them just in general for whatever reason? It might not even be anything bad. It's just he's moving on. And because that's how a lot of these people are who are making a lot of money. They're traveling, they're moving around. They can't just be in one spot at all times. So they need someone to come and be with them. That's why they have 4 wives. They need 4 responsibilities. They need a strong base of manhood. And that's what they feel like they're missing. Oh, I need this man. I need to having women. I need to conquer. I need all of this. Okay, I take 4 wives. Take 4 and be done. Be done with it. Don't destroy the next generation of men by sleeping with their women. If you're over here, you're taking 15, 20 women a year as one of these sports people who are having all of this money and influence and time on their hands when they're free, and you're taking on all these women and sleeping with all these women, you're messing up someone's potential wife down the line. Don't you understand that? Of course, you're thinking, okay, what about if this man takes 4 wives and he has all this money? What's going to happen to the men at the bottom? Well, the guy who has 4 wives, he has more of the ability to get more kids. So if he has 4 wives and all of them potentially, maybe not all of them, or maybe one out of all of them have 8, one has 8 kids, one has 6, one has 9, one has 4, right? All the different ages, and he could take care of women who already have children, who already have gotten tricked, or maybe a widow or a divorcee, and he could take on those type of women as well, as long as they are ready for that type of responsibility of having a true husband who is willing to take care of them and provide them more children, right? But back to the standpoint of the man who has the ability to give these women more children. So when he's able to give them more children, then that can help society for the younger men. So when they get of age, maybe 25, 26, maybe not too old, maybe not too young, but then children, the man's children who had all these kids with all these 4 women who had all this money, he'll be able to give back to society more women potentially. He's gonna have men children as well, but he's gonna be able to have more women or more female children to then give to the next generation. So then the men who felt as though, well, now I don't have a woman, he can potentially have a woman later on. If you truly think about it, it's easy, just numbers and just how society truly works. So if you don't want the men at the true top just to rip through everything and take everyone, tell them to have 4. Limit them to 4. You have 1, 2, 3, 4 wives. Get out of the way. Let someone else have a wife. Want for your brother what you want for yourself, right? This is the type of thinking that is not there today. People at the top they just say, well, I have this wife and I'm with her all the time. No, it's not true. You're out here sleeping with all these women. You're being intimate with all these women and you're destroying society. And these women are becoming jaded because they're thinking, okay, I'll never be able to have a man of this stature for the rest of my life, which is probably true. There's not going to be another LeBron or another Leonardo DiCaprio or another whoever that comes to mind of these celebrities to come along and be like, okay, I'll fully take care of you and I'll be able to provide for you the life that I have. And then if she's getting stuck in this cycle of looking for someone of that stature, she's just going to keep going and going and going and going and never be able to get found. And then by a certain point, people will get the reputation of her and she won't be able to attach to a relationship the correct way. And then that's how our society is going to be destroyed, right? So easy way to solve that: take 4 wives, men of stature. If you have a little bit, but not as much, maybe a few million, take 3. If you have a few 100,000, take 2. Have 100. If you have enough for 1 wife, take 1. Travel the world, go meet women, take multiple wives, women, marry men who are already married. It's easy. If you want encouragement and help on how to do that, get in contact with me. Link in description. Book a call. All right.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم